Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. Let's sit together for a little while as I tell you a story, a real one, pulled straight from the folds of everyday life. It's about friendships, about mistakes, and about the kind of wisdom that sometimes sneaks up on you when you least expect it. A few months ago, I struck up an unlikely friendship. A young woman, full of beauty, life, and laughter, reached out to me. She was only 30 years old, but from the very first conversation, I knew there was something special about her. It wasn't just her bright smile or her elegant way of speaking. It was her heart. Despite the decades between us, we became friends. Real friends. And every time we spoke, it amazed me how much I learned from her. Lessons I thought I had already mastered long ago. I remember once, in a moment of frustration, I told her, "When people upset me, I shut the door. I cut them off completely." And with the gentleness only true wisdom carries, she said, "But isn't forgiveness a quieter kind of strength?" It stayed with me. My young friend, the beautiful soul I told you about, she loves life. She's always at a new coffee shop, a new boutique, a new gathering. There's joy in that, absolutely. But today, as we chatted, I gently asked her, "Have you ever thought about setting aside a little something? Not because you expect trouble, but because you respect your own future?" Because here's the truth. When I was young, life wasn't easy for me. I worked at a bakery, burning my hands on the ovens. I cleaned offices when everyone else was fast asleep. I ironed clothes until my back ached. There were years when I didn't step into a restaurant once. Not because I didn't love life, but because I was busy building one. And you know what? I'm proud of that. Because even now, I carry that same spirit. When I go shopping, I still bring my own cloth bags. Not just because it saves me $1, but because it reminds me, waste nothing, respect everything. It's not about being cheap. It's about living wisely. Life isn't a theme park where you can ride all the rides every day. It's more like a garden. Some days you plant. Some days you harvest. And some days you sit quietly and simply admire what you've grown. Today, people scroll through Instagram and see only highlights, new cars, fancy meals, designer clothes. But real life? It's quieter. It's about being able to buy yourself a simple meal without worrying about the bill. It's about knowing you have enough for a rainy day. It's about sleeping peacefully at night, not tossing and turning over what's due tomorrow. When I was younger, if I could afford 2 pairs of shoes, I felt like a queen. Today, people buy 5 pairs in one weekend without thinking twice. But at what cost? Are we dressing ourselves to feel rich, or are we dressing up our debts? And weddings. Oh, weddings. I've seen young women spending fortunes on a single evening, dresses, shoes, makeup, jewelry, just to impress people they barely even know. But I promise you, the people who love you won't care if you wear the same dress twice. And the ones who do, they're not worth your worry. There's strength in simplicity. There's beauty in moderation. There's freedom in saying, "I don't need to prove anything to anyone." So save a little, my dear ones. Not just for emergencies, but for your dreams. Save so you can stand on your own feet. Save so you can sleep at night without fear. Save because your future deserves it. Enjoy your youth, laugh loudly, dance often, but plant seeds too. One day, you'll be so grateful you did. Thank you for sharing this time with me. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm always reading your words, and I'll be back soon with more stories from this beautiful, complicated thing we call life.